Alright, I'm doing my video blog update for June 23rd, 2010. The blueberry bushes are here, and this one, in spite of the bad weather we've had, is producing some quite lovely large blueberries that have ripened, and they taste really good. This variety, I'm not sure what it's called, was an early, and so far has been the most successful. Those are doing pretty well, not really going to produce much on the current bushes this year, but they'll be a lot bigger next year. This blueberry is kind of sad. It has a couple of tiny leaves. Tiny leaves. But it's way behind. I'm not sure if it's making it or not. This one over here seems to actually have more berries on it than leaves. And they'll start ripening in a little while. It's behind the first one that we have. Everything else in our yard's looking good. All the rain has been really good to everything this year. But the lack of sun has been kind of bad. Okay, let's go through the house. Here are all the new gardens. If the sun comes out the next few days, maybe things will start growing a little better. We have the lettuces of every variety. Those are doing okay, but as they're cold weather. The next bed there is something called beetberry, and they seem to be coming up. It has it's like a green leaf with a raspberry-like berry on it that's more planted for the greens. Those are russet potatoes, and they're doing really well. The next one over there I did cauliflower and broccoli. It hasn't come up yet. And here's my squash growing on growing in tomato cages as my experiment this year. That one at the end is a spaghetti squash. That is winter squash. This one is a delicati winter squash. That is a cucumber. And then we have one stray tomato plant that was given to me, so I just plunked it in there. The celery. The celery is doing pretty well. A couple of garlics. Cyan's little garden over there is doing decent. His carrots have come up. The big garden over here. We have the zucchini and the yellow squash. They are still very small. They got eaten by slugs the first round, so I had to replant. The bamboo trellis over here has watermelon growing on it. Also very small. The first round died. The beets, kale, onions in the middle are doing really well. Cabbage. Peas. The green beans are kind of sad. They've been struggling for a while. The cold is not helping that at all, and the tomato plants are also pretty sad. They've got some like yellow blighty looking leaves. I did a bell pepper in the topsy-turvy as an experiment. It seems to be doing okay. Hasn't grown too much since I planted it a week or two ago. We have raspberries over here, and they are producing raspberries. You can see it from there. They're getting a good amount, the 3 plants that lived. This is the amaranth patch, and it's starting to come up a little bit. It's very slow. There we go. There's a couple of them. It should fill in this whole section here, hopefully. Amaranth gets really tall, so hopefully it's bushy and big. The strawberries look great. We're getting a lot of red strawberries. Next year, after this fills in a little bit better, we'll have a ton. As many as we could eat, probably. I have dry beans here. They're looking good. They all look healthy. I just planted these from beans from the store. I sprouted them first to make sure. And then I did one more row in the middle that's a little behind the other ones. Really try to fill it in. Grow them up the trellis. And the new garden over here, we're doing another experiment with growing potatoes in buckets. I planted some potatoes in here. There's yellow potatoes and red potatoes, and they kind of got mixed together in the bag, so I'm sure they're mixed together while they're growing. This is kamut. It's doing pretty well. I planted a little more to try to make it a little more full. Quinoa. The quinoa looks good. This should also be tall and take up a lot of space. This is rye, and it also looks great. Hopefully it gets really tall. We can feed it to the animals. The corn is doing pretty well. Hopefully we get something out of that. And the sunflowers, a few of them have fallen over. I think it's because they didn't get enough water and they get kind of droopy, and then I don't know, they seem kind of sensitive. So here's the potato experiment. We got these free cardboard barrels from my friend's husband. He gets them at work, and so I drilled holes in the bottom, and then I put a couple of inches of dirt, and then I put sprouted potatoes, and then I filled over the top with compost. And when they grow up, they'll get to be a couple inches tall, and then you add more compost, and it forces them to grow taller, and you add more dirt or compost or straw or anything really. And then it gets to the top, and then you let them grow, and potatoes grow along the root system. So the theory is that you'll get a bucket full of potatoes, and you can topple it over and kind of pick them out without having to dig much. And then these are just disposable. I figure by the time this season is over, they'll be pretty weak. But drilled holes, added dirt, added seed potatoes, and added some compost. So we'll come out here. We put all of our chickens together. We realized that if you just dump 6 new chickens in with the old chickens, they get overwhelmed, and it worked pretty well. Here's the nasturtium. It's doing fine in this crappy soil with minimal sunlight. It gets maybe an hour or 2 a day over here. The oats are back there, and I kind of gave up on them. I didn't plant them very well. You can see a few of them in there. I needed to plant way more. I planted by what the package instructions said, which was 12 inches apart, but that's silly. I'm pretty sure you just need to throw them down like grass seed. Hopefully the nasturtium will fill in this whole area. And the chickens, we have 9 now. We had 10, but one of our laying hens died. We're not sure why. She was just dead one day, I think last week. I think maybe they're mostly inside the house. Yeah, just the 2 big ones are out here. But we have chickens of every age now. We're probably going to keep all of these for layers. Oh, there's an egg. Here's all the chickens. There we go. We had the ones that from science class, and then 2 that I got for free on Craigslist, and the one we got from the goat people. Get this egg. Alright, and we had to move the goat fence. They ate everything in that section in maybe a month and a half. So we moved it over here, and they're plowing through this pretty fast too. If you can see, over there is where they had eaten it already. And then over here is where they still have some food. And we moved it about a week ago, and they probably have a few weeks left on this situation. There they are. Hi, babies. Alright, I think that's pretty much it for the updates. We have the rabbit cages back there. When we get back from vacation, we're gonna set up the meat rabbit situation, so that'll be in my next video blog. And that's it for today. Bye.